Claire, what are the potential downsides of renewing or tendering?
So renewal, we have to be realistic. It is not going to drive the same type of competitive price reduction as you might see as part of a competitive process. You can very strongly drive that to a lower commercial point, but there has to be a level of pragmatism around that. A competitive tender does have the potential to drive that potentially lower TCO. So I think that's one of the potential downsides of renewal. And then really, because of the amount of change that is going on in the marketplace at the moment, in all areas, WAN, SD-WAN and other technologies, such variety in the offerings of various suppliers in that space. Have you really investigated all that's on offer there if you're accepting just what your current supplier can do in that space? Really the same can be applied to contact centre and telephony and UC. If you're just anchoring yourself to one type of solution, you're really going to be limiting yourself compared to what's now going on in the marketplace. And 5G and data offerings from different mobile suppliers. Have you worked out how those vary or how they might impact certain user groups that you've got, because there's lots of change there. So there's various downsides with renewal. The big one, obviously, for a competitive tender process is time and resource. I think that, people are going to say that's a no-brainer. Of course, that's more time intensive. I think you particularly need to think about from the supplier's point of view what they're expecting from you in that procurement process. People will not join in your process if they feel they're making up the number. So you have to provide the input, the time, the engagement with those suppliers so that they feel valued, so they're putting forward quality bids that actually drive a process. That is going to take real time and input from you. You can't sort of pretend to do it. You might consider a compromise of the two, of having a supplier look at what they're going to propose, but then defaulting to a tender. Obviously, the trouble with that is if it backfires and they don't come with something good in the first instance, you're going to elongate the process. So, there's risks in all three options.
Okay, Claire, so that's the downsides of renewing and or tendering. What about the upside?
Well, a renewal can be very quick, efficient, and if you get good market analysis, can really drive to that lower total cost of ownership. You can also, with the right engagement, tap into solutions within your existing supplier, if they have those within their portfolio that align to what you want to do strategically as a business. If you have a positive relationship with your existing supplier and that's a good option for you, then it's probably the most efficient thing to do. However, that really competitive TCO that is aligned to the very best within the market for solutions that fit you strategically is probably going to come from a competitive tender process, particularly I think with so much transformation within the marketplace, a lot of organisations at a board level are going to want to see, have you investigated what is really out there in the market in terms of SD-WAN technologies for WAN, UC and contact centre solutions, data approaches for mobile. Have you really looked at what the market is doing in terms of those things, understood it, and you're bringing to us the very best solution that's out there that's going to be good not just for now but within the 3 to 5 years of the contract. And it's quite hard to achieve that level of credibility if you're just working with your existing supplier. So it's very resource intensive, but potentially has a massive upside. Giving your existing supplier a chance to come in first, but then keeping options to go out to tender in the background means that you might be able to drive them that bit harder to a really quality solution. So there's potential upsides, if managed well, of all three types of procurement process.